The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? This verse is part of the prophet Jeremiah's warning to Judah. It follows a comparison between those who trust in man and those who trust in the Lord. Verse 9 exposes the spiritual condition of fallen humanity, emphasizing the human heart misleads, even its own owner. We often rationalize sin or justify evil. The heart is not just flawed, but incurably sick or morally corrupt without divine grace. Who can know it? Implies that only God can fully understand the depths of the human heart. As affirmed in verse 10, I, the Lord, search the heart. This verse is often used in discussions of original sin, particularly in Reform's theology, to demonstrate. What does it demonstrate? God's regenerating work makes the human heart trustworthy. But does it really? John Gill wrote in his exposition of the Old Testament, the heart of man is deceitful above all things. It promises that to a man which it cannot perform. It suggests that to him which is false. It puts off the evil day and flatters him with peace when destruction is at hand. It is full of a manner of deceit and desperately wicked. Wickedness is deeply rooted in it. It is desperately diseased. It is incorrigible and beyond cure by any hand but the Lord's. Hence, it is a very dangerous thing to trust in or to follow its dictates. Gilbert Beebe wrote, the deceitful heart flatters itself that it is rich and increased with goods and has need of nothing, while it knows not that it is wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. Samuel Trott also wrote of this. Which is the heart of man, but deceitful and desperately wicked? And who but the Lord can search it, expose it, and bring its counsels to naught? But what of this heart after regeneration? Beebe wrote, the old heart is not purified or changed, but a new heart is given. The two are not mingled, but remain distinct. Hence, the warfare. The old man remains vile and deceitful, but the inward man delights in the law of God. I remember watching an old science fiction movie, which perhaps some of you may remember. It was called Forbidden Planet. Unlike most science fiction movies, it had a fascinating plot. Let me recite it for you briefly if I'm not boring you. There was a race on a planet called a Krell. This race had evolved, quote unquote, for 1 million years to a state of perfection. They had eradicated all crime, all disease, all hatred, and had created apparently a perfect society. But it lacked one thing. They wanted a machine to build that could eliminate all work. In other words, you merely had to think about something, and the machine would bring it to pass. Fascinating concept. If you look at our modern technological directions, that is where we seem to be headed. Now, we're not close to that yet, but that's where we seem to be headed. And that's the goal, to simplify the life of man, to eliminate the curse that God gave man in Genesis 3:19. In the sweat of thy face. Ye shall eat bread till you return unto the ground, for out of it were you taken. For dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. Anyway, back to the plot of this movie. They discovered that this advanced race, after they invented a machine which was to be their greatest accomplishment as a race, they died overnight, and the civilization was wiped out, except for the machine that supplied the energy. That went on by itself without any human assistance or alien assistance. It actually fixed itself. It was programmed to do that. That's how advanced this race was. What's the point of all this that I'm telling you about? The Krell destroyed themselves because they made a mistake, a serious mistake, a fatal mistake. They made a mistake that their subconscious part of their mind was still evil and wicked, and it could connect to this machine and make all its desires come true. Creation by mere thought. And their subconscious destroyed themselves in one night, in a night of horror and destruction. This is what man gets when he tries to bypass the curse of God. And so it is with us, brethren. On the surface, we may seem civilized and good and honorable, but in our subconscious, the evil man, the old man, has not been destroyed. He still lies there. And this is our problem. This is where the conflict comes. We have no solution for that old man except that he must die. And then when he dies, a new man will resurrect, both body and soul united in Christ. And he will do good works, and he will be in eternal vital union with Jesus. Some may argue that after regeneration, we no longer have wicked hearts. But we know better, don't we, brethren? What did Paul say? That in me, that is in my flesh, there dwells no good thing. That's why there's a conflict, a war between the new man and the old man. If the old man was just your body, there would be no conflict, right? Because bodies don't think, they don't argue, they don't deceive. Beebe wrote, "Still has the old man the carnal mind which is enmity against God, and this nature never becomes sanctified or improved." We are not changed from sinners to sinless creatures, but we are quickened, made alive, and brought into conflict with our remaining corruption. Samuel Trott wrote, "The deceitfulness of the heart does not vanish with regeneration. Indeed, it is after the new birth that the child of God begins to feel and groan under the deep depravity of the flesh." J.F. Johnson wrote, "The heart of flesh, promised in the covenant, is given to the elect, yet the old stony heart is not removed in the sense of annihilation. It is dethroned, but it still troubles the child of God." Brethren, I study technology, and the advancements in computer science in the last 30 or 40 years have been beyond belief in the transformation of a computer or the internet or artificial intelligence. The truth is that even though man's technology has advanced to an amazing end because he's a creative creature, his heart is still the same in many ways. Deceitful.